Hello, my name is Josh. I am the Director of Advertising with Influent, and I wanted to make this video to do a quick introduction of who I am. I also wanted to show you what I look for when I do an audit of an ad account and how I found thousands and thousands of dollars of wasted ad budget for hundreds of companies. And I'd also like to go over a fundamental approach on how to build a strategy on LinkedIn that I've implemented to not only get companies results, but to exponentially grow those results over time. So to get started, I wanted to give a quick introduction so you know who's talking to you. As I mentioned, my name is Joshua Stout. I am one of less than 90 LinkedIn certified marketing experts in the world. I also have that elusive LinkedIn Top Voice badge. I think I'm one of less than five in the world that have both recognitions. I got my experience by helping grow a LinkedIn centric agency from the ground up. Initially, it was a side hustle. It was me and a couple other guys, and we were a messaging company. But once we released ads as a service, I was the one that led that department. So basically, when I couldn't manage any more accounts myself, I hired and trained the next person and the next and the next, and ultimately ended up creating a training program that grew and trained a team that handled over 1,000 accounts during my time there. So, needless to say, I've seen just about every industry. I've seen just about every budget level from about $300 a month to over $100,000 a month. That being said, I would like to go over what I look for when I do an audit of an ad account and how I find these areas of opportunity that are really wasted budget and how to really make your ad spend more effective. When I go into a campaign, I am looking for several things. First and foremost, here at the top, I look at locations. So LinkedIn will default to recent or permanent location, but what you want to do is switch over to permanent. If you see the explanation here, it says people who recently visited or permanently live or work in the selected location. So that means if somebody from another country visited that geography but went back to their own home country, they're still going to be included in your targeting. So that's a pretty quick one that you can easily switch over to permanent. So make sure your targeting is dialed in on the geographies that you want. Another thing that I'm looking at is as you scroll down, I'm looking at the structure of the campaign. So it's really important that the structure is correct and that your audience sizes is the ideal size you want it to be. So even this audience size that you see here is on the maximum end of what I'd want from a broader campaign. Now it can depend on who you're targeting. In this example, it's a lot of salespeople. So of course, there's a ton of them and there are a lot of them on LinkedIn. But if you see numbers that are in the millions or really excessive or too niche, it can be the way that you're filtering your audience. Also, you want to make sure you're as laser focused on your ICP as possible. Any dollar that you spend that's not going to serve an impression in front of somebody that you want to see it is a wasted ad dollar. So this is one of the most important parts of a campaign is ensuring that you have your audience built correctly. And again, you want that as honed in as possible on your ICP to make your budget as effective as you can. You'll want to make sure that enable audience expansion is turned off. Basically, that allows LinkedIn to find people who look like your target audience, but that's not what you want. Part of the power of LinkedIn is the precision of the targeting. Even LinkedIn will say that this is only when you're using interest and traits for your targeting, but it defaults to it being on, so it doesn't really make sense. So you'll definitely want to turn that off. So, one thing you want to make sure you get right is your objective. So, coming back up here to the top, it's very important that you use the right objective. It's very easy to use the wrong one based on what LinkedIn recommends. As an example, if you use website conversions, most people see capture leads or drive action on your website. Yeah, sure, absolutely. But the truth is that causes your CPM to go up, your cost per click to go up, and you don't get better results from it. So almost every expert agrees you do not want to use website conversions. Now, if you're getting 20, 30, 40 conversions per week and they're meaningful conversions, not like key page views, that might be a good objective to try. But in general, it doesn't tend to lead to better results and you'll want to use a different objective. You really want to know based on your goal what the algorithm is doing. So if I look at brand awareness, it's to reach as many unique members in my target audience as possible. However, in this situation, because the audience size, that's probably going to waste a lot of budget because I'd rather show it out of that 300,000 people to the people that have engaged with ads in the past. So I assess the objective that you're using, make sure it aligns with your goals, and make sure you're not wasting budget on it. Along with the objective, I'm looking at the bidding type that you're using. The bid type changes for every objective that you have, and sometimes in multiple ways. So when you're using maximum delivery, you're paying for impressions, you're not paying for clicks, which might be okay based on how it's performing. But when you switch to manual bids, the manual bid means you're paying for the click and the cost that you want to pay. Now, sometimes that can be restrictive based on who you're trying to target, but also consider that the quality and relevancy score on LinkedIn is not used on maximum delivery. In fact, the only time that the quality score can help you if you have relevant content for your target audience is if you're using manual bidding. So let's come back up a little bit. So this is a very easy one to overlook, and I see it all the time. If you have LinkedIn Audience Network fully enabled, I highly recommend shutting it off. And I say that because LinkedIn Audience Network is the programmatic partner of LinkedIn, and it will dump all your budget into it, and you'll get bot clicks, accidental clicks, and bad clicks. It is a waste of budget. I am a proponent of using Audience Network, but you have to use it in a very deliberate, curated way. So you'll notice down here, it says 327 categories excluded, right? So first of all, if you want to change this, come over here to change, and then you can turn off Audience Network from here. But if you use it in the way that I recommend, you'll see that I've excluded almost everything, but I've left the relevant subcategories. So in this situation, it's for a client that wants to show their product, their SaaS product, to people in advertising or marketing when people are looking at business software. So you'll notice I excluded things like agriculture and biotech, but I have subcategories like advertising, business software, marketing, logistics. If my target audience, I keep the integrity of my target audience, but they're on one of these categories, I want to show them my ads. At a high level, that's what I'm looking for when it comes to settings, but there's more that I'm doing because I also want to know what matched audience is in place. If you're not running a retargeting structure on LinkedIn, you're leaving money on the table. Most decision makers are not going to convert on that first click. So I want to see that you have the right matched audiences in place in order to re-engage the people that have shown interest in your brand. The most important to set up as quick as you can are the website visits. These are not retroactive, meaning only once you put each audience in place will it start collecting data on your website visitors from any source, whether it's Google or Meta, anywhere else, and LinkedIn, moving forward. So your insight tag has to be enabled and you have to have the matched audience built, and only then will it start collecting members into it. Now, I like to put my company page visits and anyone that engages with my top of funnel single image ads or videos if you're using videos, because I'm going to use 90-day buckets to retarget, 90-day website visits, 90-day company page visits, and 90-day single image interactions. But if I want to use the 30 days because maybe there's a promotion coming out, or maybe there's something I'm really trying to push, or let's say I want to try to bring people back into my funnel that haven't been to my site in 30 days, or excuse me, 3 months, then I might use the 180 days and exclude the 90 days. But ultimately, I have these in place so they're ready to use the way that I want to use them. So this is another important thing that I'm auditing when I look at an ad account. Now, I want to talk about strategy because this is extremely relevant for how you structure your strategy on LinkedIn. I won't explain the marketing funnel. The marketing funnel's been around for a very long time, but fundamentally, this is the strategy that I use in order to achieve results on LinkedIn. While conceptually it seems very basic, it can actually be really complex because every company has their own positioning, their own target audience, their own assets they have to use. Every company is different. So this strategy gets customized based on the approach that we're taking. Also, there might be multiple segmentation of different ICPs that a company has. There might be broad campaigns along with segmented campaigns. It might just be a broad campaign. So I want you to understand that while fundamentally this is the approach, it can change based on every campaign's needs. So top of funnel, whether it's segmented or broad, I'm going to make 5 variation of ads focused on pain points and benefits. If it's broad, these are going to be general pain points and benefits. Or if you have a specific segment based on maybe industry or the type of role that we're targeting or geography, you could make relevant ads for them. either way, in each campaign, I'm going to use a variation of 5 ads. And I want different designs, I want different copy, I want different tone, because I'm really trying to figure out what resonates with the target audience. Now, keep in mind, they're only going to see 1 or 2 of these ads in a month. So in order to gain statistical significance, you want them to run for 3 to 4 weeks, and then you want to optimize based on the data and based on the messaging and ads that you can see are getting the most engagement. From there, you stop your lower performing ads. Now you can start A/B testing your higher performing ads. The optimization here is all volume. Your awareness layer is about putting ads in front of people that, as far as you know, don't know your brand, enticing them and getting their interest and bringing them to your site and into your funnel. You should be optimizing for what's bringing them the most traffic. Now, this is one of the superpowers of LinkedIn. I showed you the matched audiences. LinkedIn's ability through first and third party data to stay in front of the people that showed interest in your brand is second to none. Now, here's where you want to use your content. You want to use things like blogs, white papers, ebooks, articles, case studies, or even if you're just answering FAQs because you don't have a lot of content yet, that's fine. Even just reiterating high level benefits in this layer is something that you want to do if you don't have anything else. But ultimately, if you know a prospect showed interest, now's your ability to build trust and credibility in your brand. They don't convert on that first click. They don't know who you are. So show them what makes you unique and what makes you different. Show them that you're experts in what you do. This also works hand in hand with using thought leader ads in this part of the funnel. Thought leader ads will show, if you do have executives at your company that post about their expertise, this is great to run in tandem with the content that your company has. You could also run those in your awareness layer to help build brand equity. But ultimately, you are staying top of mind in front of the prospects that have shown interest, building your touch points in front of them, and showing them the kind of ads that are going to build trust and credibility in your company and in your solution. The optimization here, yes, it's engagement, but we're also looking at reach and frequency. The reason you see 10 to 15 ads is once you start retargeting, that's a smaller audience of people. So they're going to see 3 to 6, maybe 7 ads every month. So they're going to see about 10 to 15 every 2 months. The key is variation. You don't want to bludgeon them over the head with the same blog or the same testimonial. You want to create a variation to keep them engaged and keep them interested and let them read and pursue what makes them most interested in learning about you. Ultimately, we also want conversion focused ads. It's not all about education, it's also about popping the question. People are more inclined to take an action if prompted to do so. Nobody ever gets married if one side or the other doesn't propose. So here's where we do that and take the next step in the relationship. Now, for conversion focused ads, these don't send anyone to consumable content where they're downloading or reading anything. Here's where you can use social proof like testimonials, reviews, success stories. You can pull data or numbers out of your case studies and put them on here, like big bolded benefits. Reiterate what those benefits are to these interested prospects. Highlight things like revenue and percentages, right? And ask for that next step. You know they engage with your brand. You know they are interested. That you know you've been educating them. Now ask them to take the next step and schedule a demo or whatever your next step in your process is. Ultimately, you're looking to establish a machine, a funnel that, as you constantly analyze data, tweak, and optimize, ultimately yields results for you. You're focused at volume here, top of funnel, and then you start building frequency with the ads that build that trust and credibility and ultimately ask for the conversion. And what usually happens is soon you'll start seeing results, and the people that are low hanging fruit that have more of a short term need are going to start converting. But over time, these results will exponentially grow. As you add more and more people into your funnel, and as you start building more and more frequency over time, you're going to start converting more and more people. If you Google it, it might say you need 12 to 18 touch points to convert someone. In my experience, it's more like 40 or 60 or 80. The point is not that it takes 80 touch points to convert one of your prospects, but as you continue building those touch points, now you're getting from the conversions from the people that do take longer in their buying process or their buyer's journey, but also from the low-hanging fruit that might be further along in needing your solution. So not only are you starting to capture the 80 touch points and the 60 touch points, but you're still getting people that only take 5 or 10 touch points or 20 touch points and everywhere along that spectrum. So I hope you found that valuable. Those are the top things that I look for when auditing an account and the fundamental strategy I implement on LinkedIn that I tend to find success on, not just yielding results, but having a long term solution to grow those results over time. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.